Welcome to TradersArmy.com, defending your right to build wealth and preserve capital for generations to come.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I'm your host, Chuck Fulkerson. Everybody had an amazing trading day yesterday as we are rolling on a beautiful Tuesday, August the 14th. For those who are new to the channel, click the subscribe button down below so you get the updates as we release the information. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So starting with the S&P. The S&P yesterday, for those of you that watched the weekend edition, we had some fairly bad news about what was going on in Turkey, and then we had a really strong reversal. We had our first live trading room on the evening of the 12th, and talked about picking up a little bit of this move down. We've now kind of come back up, and we're basically back to where we started before all this Turkey news happened, right? And that's really what the market has put in for us. So I don't have a lot to add today on the ES based on our prior lines. We had the origin of this very strong rally up. This still stays as a level. And then we had this origin of this little move down on a 15-minute time period, but really nothing else for me to add on top of that. So for now, I'm going to kind of stand fast and hold tight. I think that we've got a decent shot this morning of a gap and go, a little bit of maybe a run a bit higher after the fall that we saw yesterday in the early part of the day. We're going to open up higher. You could see a bit of a gap and go. So if you're so inclined, on a 15-minute chart, we do have this little area right here. Now, this was formed right around the London market open. You could play a bit of a reversal at this area right here if you are so inclined around that London market open. I'm not sure if we'll get that deep of a pullback. It's only 6 points, but if we do, you may get a bit of a reversal right there. In the NQ, so I left this blue line here because this was a breakout trade that we had set up that moved for a little bit and then came back against us earlier last week after the news had kind of hit on Turkey. But I left this line here because I still think this could be a statistically relevant area. You may want to make it a bit higher at this point since we did put in kind of that high. So what we would do is take this, raise it up, right around this 7,500 line, if indeed that was something that interested you. In the NASDAQ, I would be more inclined to use this level here, which was created around the same time as the one in the S&P. I like this level a bit more in the NASDAQ than I do in the S&P. Not sure if we're gonna come into this area or not this morning, but if we do, you may get a decent little reversal right back in through here. Next, crude oil. So here's crude oil. Now look at this level. So here, this crude oil, this was the level, for those of you that were in the live trading room on Sunday night, we talked about this wick over wick level and being a potential reversal. And it did give us a very strong reversal off of here. But the other talk was that there could be a breakout above this area. So for today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my area to this move right here, just above that 6803 area, and put in this as a potential opportunity. So this becomes a possible reversal point right there, just above that 6803. We bounced off of it this morning, and now I think that to me, you've got another little wick over wick area up here that I think if we break above there could run to. So, but hopefully some of you were able to catch, those of you that were in the room caught this move down. It was a nice move down off of that wick over wick area. In gold, I have, we're having a hard time breaking through this, gaining any bullish traction and bouncing off of any of these areas. This level was found actually on a weekly, as we've just had strong, many weeks in a row of just a lot of weakness in gold, and it's really strengthened the dollar is what that is more than anything. As we're seeing gold just completely fall off a cliff. Now we know that there's a chance we can get back down to $1,000 an ounce, which we haven't seen gold at that level in a really long time, but on a weekly chart it could get there. So for now, what does that mean for us? Well, it means that I'm only looking at shorts, right? Everything is telling me that I should only be looking at shorts in gold because my big picture is doing that. So for now, what I would look at is a potential breakdown below this area here, since we're consolidating just above it, or a reversal trade up to here. So I would look at either one of those as both potentials. Bonds, Aussie, Euro, Canadian. So in the bonds, we do have a little bit of an area down here where we could see a potential reversal. Price has not come back to that region yet. So I'm going to leave this alert in place just to kind of give me a heads up if we do come back to that zone. In the Euro and the Aussie, we've got some areas above us, some fair price value areas where we can see that there was the origin of a strong drop as an opportunity. I don't know if we're going to make it that high anytime soon, really. When I look at this on a 4-hour chart, we've got a very strong downward trend. I've got to go all the way out to a daily chart to find my next area of support, and it doesn't come in until way down here. All right, this area of support doesn't come in until this region down here, and even this is a retest of these areas over here to the left. So my point is there's still room for the Aussie to fall. The Euro, all of these, it's essentially, globally, or we're having a currency debacle, if you will. For everybody except the dollar. And then, on these, the daily doesn't give me room until way down here. So plenty of room to fall in both of these markets. So what I would do is look for pullbacks to high quality zones. Right now, I don't really have any. So in the Euro, if you wanted to take a breakout, you may be able to do that. I still like these pullback areas better. What I don't want to do is force the trade just because it's in the middle of a parabolic move. If you force the trade in the middle of a parabolic move, that's usually going to be bad news for everybody. Looking now at the British pound, Japanese yen. British pound also doing a lot of the same thing that the Euro is doing in that strong weakness on the big picture chart. However, we are getting a bit of a move back higher where we could see a little reversal. So got a little tiny level here. Now I don't like that we came really close to it and we're unable to get into it. So I'm going to change the color on this. I'm going to put this one back on, but I'm going to put this as a confirmation entry. The reason I'm going to put this as a confirmation entry is because we came somewhat close to it. Whoops. I clicked on the wrong box to get the right drawing tool. We came somewhat close to it and were unable to pierce into it. So what I'm going to do is change this to a purple line, because first of all, we found it on the 15-minute chart, but also make it dash it. Now that means that we need price to come in and we get short as it comes back out. So we're lowering the quality of the level a bit and looking at the probability. Japanese yen, our upward trend line that we put in place has been broken on the hourly chart. It had been the strongest of all of the currencies aside from the US dollar. That honor, by the way, now belongs to the Canadian dollar aside from the US. And you may get a little bit of a shot right here. If you want to shoot your shot, take a look at a short right there in the Japanese yen. Nat gas and copper. So nat gas, we still have a little bit of a reversal area right through here, and then one down below this region in there. So that being said, I'm going to turn this bad boy off. If you got any questions, please feel free to send me an email. My email address is chuck@iiefinancial.com. Till tomorrow, everybody. Hope you have a great trading day, and I will see you soon. Later.